All right, Sabrina, well, you're going to be leading your own fractional club. Tell us, who are you as an operator and what are you working on?
So my name is Sabrina and I work on ADU development. So I buy single family homes that need work and then I add additional units that I build and condominiumize so that I can refinance separately or sell separately. So essentially just adding units to single family zoned lots.
Amazing. Okay, walk me through the whole process of how are you finding the deal? What do you usually buy it for? What's the value add with the ADU, exiting it? Walk me through all that.
So a lot of my deals are in Seattle. So I'll buy a fixer property for around 700. That's kind of typical. And then I'll put about 300,000 into it. So I'll be $1 million in. And then I would buy a property on a corner or an alley that allows you to build additional new construction ADUs for like around 1,200 square foot each. And then what I would do is condo them each separately so that I can either refinance or sell separately. And the new construction aspect, it costs about $350 to build. Depending on the location, the ADU would appraise for about $750,000 to $800,000 each. And so, sometimes my all-in cost for a project is like 1.6, and then the ARV would be like 3 million. Like the numbers are crazy. For every dollar that I put into an ADU, I get 2 back.
Wow.
And it cash flows, and then the exit strategies for this is just incredible. You know, you can do so many different things, and you can end up with paid off properties by the end of it by selling some of them to put the proceeds into the others. So it's just the flexibility, the fact that you can, this is kind of like BRRRR on steroids plus like, you know, it's unique.
I love it. Yeah. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Is there any particular neighborhood or setup of the house in Seattle where you're like, this would most likely be a deal versus it's not a deal?
100%. So you've probably heard of the A, B, C, D neighborhoods. The best place to be doing it is in the B neighborhoods, mainly because construction cost is around the same amount if you're in a really crappy area or kind of a B neighborhood. But what really changes is the ARV. So if the construction cost is $350 in like a really crappy area versus this B neighborhood, but the ARV is staggeringly different, it's worth getting into a higher price point property to be able to get like higher returns. So, but then corner access is really important with this play. If you were to build in the backyard, how are the people that are living in the backyard, how are they going to be able to get access and have that privacy? So that's why a corner lot where one house is pointing on one street, the other house is pointing on the other street, it's just an easy fence that you can put up and it looks like it's naturally part of the neighborhood. And then also the house placement. When you're buying an existing home that you plan to build on it, if the house is straight in the middle, that kind of kills your buildable envelope is what we call it. So it needs to be shifted on one side, particularly on the front, because most ADUs cannot be built in the front of existing homes. They have to be in the back. And so a house that's on a corner, alley, or large side yard where the existing home is at the front, that's when I'm like, this is a deal.
Makes a lot of sense.
Well, the numbers, of course, too.
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
And how did you find your team in terms of, construction, putting it all together? How did you put that in?
Yeah, well, in terms of finding deals, I just kind of put my name out there, and I was one of the early adopters of this kind of play. So whoever brings me a deal will get the list back. So I kind of source it that way. A lot of my deals are actually come on market. I think I've only bought one off-market deal, which people are like, that's like impossible. But and then for the people that work on my team for construction, they are also in the exact same investing play as me. So I like to work with contractors that are also investors that build for themselves. It just makes it easier. But yeah, that's pretty much who's on my team. It's just a couple of virtual assistants and then myself and then the builder or the GC that I work with. So they're all in the same ecosystem.
Yeah. What's the usual time frame between acquisition to the exit?
I would say between a year to a year and a half. So usually permits for ADUs take about 3-4 months if you're doing a custom ADU. And then for the build, it's about 6 months. And then the condo process and being able to exit with a sell or refinance, I would say about a year to a year and a half. So it's not too bad.
Love it, love it.
For new construction, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I think that's great for new construction.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've been able to just build such a great portfolio. And I know, there's been private money lenders, there's been investors who have worked with you in the past already.
Yeah.
Who has been your biggest investor so far? And, kind of what world do they come from? Like, are they techies? Are they people in real estate that want exposure into something else? Like, describe, your current investors for us.
So I kind of get a little bit of both. I get tech people, because I used to be an engineer, and so a lot of tech people are, they want to invest, but they want to be on the passive side, and of course they also have, a huge tax liability, and they just want to be involved, but they're too busy doing all the cool tech stuff, but they still find real estate cool. So I attract a lot of tech people, mainly because they're also very analytical. And I'm very analytical, so I can speak their language, and then they feel comfortable investing with me. The other types of people that I get are people that actually want to learn. They kind of want to get into a $1 million deal, but just invest the $100,000 and risk that amount, but then they feel like they're partnering on, a $1 million deal. I'm taking the $1 million risk, but they're taking, $100,000 risk, but they get to be involved and participate in a $1 million, project. So I kind of get, and then they go off and do their own deals. Like the first ever investor that I had, it gave me $150,000 who worked in tech, and taught him everything that I knew in 6 months. And then after that, now he's building a fourplex in this West Seattle area, which is a really incredible area, and he's going to make probably 7 figures from that.
Wow.
Yeah. So he got to learn just by being part of this,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, there's so much synergy into why you're starting your club on Fractional is exactly because of this learn and earn concept, right? It's
Exactly.
like people want to be a part of your deal. They don't necessarily want to, go down there and do everything themselves from day one, but having that experience partnering with you and then graduating from the club to doing their own deals in the future, like I think that is incredible, just how much empowerment is in all of this together.
No, 100%. And that's why I love what you've created, because now you're really bridging the gap between the people that really want to get involved and the operators, and it's just a win-win for everybody. And you just made it so much easier for people like me and for the people that are on the other side. So I think I'm really excited to have a club, to be a part of this, and excited for all the other people that could possibly be a part of it some way, somehow.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I would imagine a lot of your investors and partners, they end up reinvesting with you every single time. Like, what were some of the things that people said to you when they've had their first success?
I think the main thing is just how much they've learned and got to be a part of it and felt like, they felt like, hey, they're in it with me. And that to them, I think, was really special, because they're just like, a lot of people that, invested in my deals or for gap funding, they're afraid to do new construction on their own. But they felt like they were actually in it with me. They were alongside with me. And, that's why they built that confidence to do it on their own later on. So I think that's the main thing, is they kind of got addicted to how quickly they learned and how much confidence they ended up getting. There were a few people that didn't even want to invest on their own, but they got so excited about just coming along to the job site and just like, I literally gave, one of my investors a saw to just small little moments like that just were so memorable and felt really special, and just, it's a fun time. And then I also, the transparency I think is so important, and just showing, hey, these are the risks, here's our contingency plan and how we plan to mitigate these risks. And then, here's how we plan to kind of make money and, the positive, easy side, fun side of it, but just opening up the hood to what the risks are and, here's how we plan to mitigate it. I think they love that, because a lot of people just show how real estate is so easy and like, we're going to make a ton of money, but like, there are risks, there are, downfalls. And so I'm fully transparent about that. And I think that's another thing that they appreciate a lot.
I love it.
Yeah.
Cool.
My name is Sabrina, and I'm so excited to announce that I will be partnering with Fractional on an investment club. We are specializing in ADUs and condominiumizing them all across the West Coast. If you would like to join as an investor, click the link in my bio, and I'll see you there.